There it is. Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your main man, Humvee.
And your boy, DB.
And this is the Truck Cast episode number 70.
Hey, 70.
We did
70 years old,
Yes.
70 episodes deep,
Yes.
70 weeks deep.
Right.
Been doing this since the 18.
Right.
It's 19.
Yeah, it's 19 now.
Hey, hey, thank you guys for supporting us, watching.
Yes.
All 6 of y'all.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much. Each and every week we going
Yes,
live.
definitely.
Thank you guys.
Hey, shout out to everybody, YouTube, Facebook, IG, Twitter, Snapchat. Hey, make sure you follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and Google Podcasts. Yeah, we're there.
We're there.
Listen to the show, man. Listen to the show. If you don't have a chance to catch the visual on our YouTube page, matter of fact, go subscribe to the YouTube page.
Yes.
Go to our YouTube page and type in the Truckcast. You'll see the logo. Click subscribe. Click subscribe on our page. Subscribe to the show. Thank you for all the love, the fans. Hey, man, every day somebody hits me up and say, hey,
You from the Truck Cast?
yeah.
Hold on, PSA.
Go ahead.
Got PSA. Before you do a PSA, that's going nice. I sound like you're doing too much. We gotta get our guests out the door.
Hey, as you can see, we have a guest in the back.
Got a guest in the
Got a
back.
guest in the back of the truck tonight. Hey, this is, I'm just saying, therapist Sebastan Moore. I'll let him do the rest. Guess what? We have a therapist in the truck tonight.
Yes, so we have all the questions you want to ask.
Right.
Hit us up.
Definitely.
Share the show.
Share the show.
Hey, ask your therapist a question. The Truck Cast got him going live.
Right.
He is licensed. He's a professional.
Definitely.
He's ready to answer questions. But hey, y'all also throw money at us. We gonna pay him.
Sebastan Moore.
Yes.
Therapist to the stars.
Yes.
If you didn't know.
If you didn't know.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself, man.
You said my name is Sebastan Moore, so I guess I don't need to say that part. You can find me on at P2P_LPC. That's Instagram. You can find me on at P2P Therapy on Twitter. And of course, Progress to Purpose Concierge Therapy, which is the name of my practice, which has been in business for about 4 years now. And right now, we're working on establishing a new branch, so we're adding new members to the team so that we can do services. For example, we're going to add the BIP branch, which is a battery intervention prevention program. So those individuals who are, having those domestic situations and those courthouses are saying, hey, you got to go get some help, right? We're going to provide those services for those individuals. So it's kind of one of those things where you hate that somebody ever needs it, but if you need it, then, Progress to Purpose, we take care of it. Right, it definitely happens. So we take care of you on that part. And then as an individual, I definitely do, the couples and the kids. I have a lot of kids that I work with. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Kids need therapy too.
Everybody.
Oh, depression.
Depression,
That's
anxiety, career goals, all those types of things that you would think, aren't commonplace, but they are.
Right.
And so been doing that for a while now. Married with kids, the whole nine. So any struggles that you will have or are having, I've had. So it's not just from a professional standpoint, but I can also empathize and sympathize with where you're coming from.
There it is.
Right. There's a
Empathize and sympathize.
LPC.
There's a difference between that.
Sebastan Moore.
You did that. There's a difference.
We here.
That's the difference between that.
PSA. Tell them the PSA, man.
Oh, well, the PSA is, guys, when you see the Truck Cast out having a good time, enjoying ourselves with our families, with our friends, you don't have to come up to us and be like, hey, you from the Truck Cast? Yeah, it's like, I mean, they ain't ask us for autographs. We're not feeling ourselves, but we appreciate it, man. Like, we know, hey, they're like, hey, man, I'm going to be on the show, man. Get me on the show. I'm going to email it. No, you have not emailed us, because if you emailed us, you'd be on the show.
Right.
So, just come up to us. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And, thank you guys for supporting. We do want to thank you so much for your support.
Yeah.
But when you see us out our family, say hi, and don't say your email when you know you didn't. Just don't lie to them. You don't like being lied to.
That part.
Right.
That part.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys again. You know what time it is?
What time is it?
Truck fashion time.
Truck fashion time.
Truck fashion
Truck fashion.
time.
Fashion
Truck
time.
fashion time.
Let me save that one.
Truck fashion time. Yeah, document that. Yeah.
You guys ready out there? That's really why they tune in.
Mm-hmm. They like the truck fashion.
But guess what? I hope you don't make me cry. Therapy. All right, that's what we're here for. All right, here we go. They didn't say what's up, hum via DB.
Throw it away.
Huh?
You have a backup truck fashion?
No.
Right. See,
We
that's
have
what
thousands of them being printed.
Right. Here we go. I've been with my guy for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
We get along well, and we haven't had any major issues. Great communication and everything. Mm-hmm. The only thing is that he's a bit rough around the edges.
Oh.
He uses lots of profanity and has trouble adjusting sometimes in certain situations. I attend lots of events for work where professional appearance and tone is required. I don't want him to think I'm trying to change him, but I need him to know how and when to adjust. I don't put much weight into what others think, but a few close friends and fam I trust have commented that we appear to be polar opposites and that he sometimes comes across as offensive. How should I approach this? This motherfucker signed it, boy. She didn't sign it.
How you know it's a she? Sounds like a she.
It sounds like a she. It's a she.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just assume.
You're right. There it is, right there. Okay. So how should she approach this situation? You know, he's kind of rough around the edges.
Yeah, it's got to be a she.
Yeah, the roughneck gotta get it.
I would imagine she probably likes that about him.
That's what attracted. So, what should we tell her?
Well, I mean, it's not asking him to change himself if you're, basically considering what code switching is. And if you know what code switching is, that's basically making an adjustment to what portions of your personality you show based on the situation you're in. So, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, bro, but in a professional setting, maybe hey, bro can just be hey. So it doesn't require you to become an entirely different person.
Right.
But if you present it in that way, that it's not asking him to be a different person, but that it's about the scenario, and if he really cares about you, which I imagine he does if you're emailing about the situation, then, he would appreciate the fact that, he probably already knows, if you're honest
You think so?
Right.
Well, if he's that rough around the edges, to the point where people are commenting that it's polar opposites, I'm sure he's heard it before too.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he's, already uncomfortable with the idea of going into those public settings because he doesn't feel like, he knows how to fit in. So maybe she should ask him if he feels okay.
Yeah, so maybe he's like, you say, like, I think maybe just sit down and talk to the guy,
Yeah.
Or just adjust to him. That's who he is. Or don't even bring him around them settings.
Well, don't bring him around. Don't bring him around those work events.
If you're that embarrassed, it sounds what it is. Like it may be a work convention. If you're embarrassed of that man, don't bring that man. You know what I'm saying? He is what he is. You should love him for everything that he is.
Or maybe just don't let him drink at the work gatherings. Because they serve. You know they do.
They're serving Patron shots.
You know they.
He always got that one boss that act crazy.
Right.
Like,
that's the one that's gonna like him.
Why is
that's the one that
I like him. He is so cute. And she rub his head and he bald. Like, let me rubbing my man's head. You been thinking that? The girl been thinking that?
What?
Say, why is that ball on my head,
That's
girl?
what they think. Don't rub my man's head.
Sorry.
you just went.
You know the girl like the boss get drunk. Oh, he's so cute, girl. And the girl be like, rub my man's head. You know, they be protective about
So
what
now
they
he's
like.
bald. So
Yeah.
bald guy.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just, throwing scenarios out there.
Definitely.
If you got a Jerry Curry, she take the Jerry Curry juice out of his pocket.
Definitely don't bring him to the event. Definitely don't.
Don't bring him to the event.
Definitely.
Or just teach him. You know what? First of all, you gotta learn how to date a chameleon. Learn how to man to be a thug on Friday and a good Sunday church boy on Sunday. You got to be able to adapt, men, women. Adapt to your situations so that you can fit in all squares. You a circle, but you can still fit in that square.
Ooh.
Look at that, boy. I didn't learn something today, boy. Look at that. That didn't make no sense, but I tried.
There's a whole lot there.
I tried.
Hey, so definitely, young lady, have the conversation. Why not?
Why not?
Just have the conversation because you really like the guy, and I think that if you want to make it last, just show him like little do's and don'ts.
Do's and
Just
don'ts.
ask him how he feels about those situations, and then you can go from there. You put it in his court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Make sure you're sharing the show.
Mm-hmm.
Share the show. Thank you, confused lady with the disrespectful boyfriend. Thank you for the truck cast. Guys, share the show.
Yeah.
We're live on Facebook.
Yeah.
And we're also live on Instagram, aka IG. So if you want to find us on Instagram,
Yeah.
the truck cast. We on there. We live. LIVE. Share the show.
It goes down in a major way. You ready for these questions?
Hey guys, we got Dr. Sebastan Moore.
We got a
He's not a
therapist
doctor.
in
I'm
here.
sorry, he's not a doctor.
Right.
Licensed professional counselor,
There you go.
Mr. Sebastan Moore. So feel free to send us questions right here, live on IG, live on Facebook.
Live.
Send us your questions that you may want us to ask him, and he may be willing to ask them. But
Maybe.
also send us money because he
Right.
deserves to get paid for his professionalism.
You got cash app?
Absolutely.
We gonna put his cash app out there. Donate dollars to that man.
okay.
We got a beautiful family, beautiful kids. Take care of the black. Sorry, I got Martin Luther King.
Wait a minute.
I gotta
All
stop
right.
working out. Well, my eyes get
All right.
diabetes. Go ahead.
Chill out, relax. All right. Since we're with the therapist,
Yeah.
LPC,
Yes.
we want to know what's the difference between therapy and counseling.
Can I answer that?
Ask him.
Can I answer it? In my personal opinion?
Go ahead.
I want him to get comfortable. He may. Can you ready to answer? You ready to
I'm
answer?
good, but
He's
I
good.
feel like I actually want to hear what you have
Yeah,
to say.
I think that.
You do?
Well, it's been entertaining.
So I think. Hold on. Is this your stance? When you in the session, you always do this?
Well,
Because he
I
know.
don't
Did you notice that?
one
He know.
per
He
se.
know.
Observation.
He know that guy's like he's an idiot, but it's okay.
Well,
That's
the
a therapy
the
thing.
Square circle in the square in the square circle thing.
What is it?
Because it's a circle in it.
Okay. I think that when it comes to counseling,
Yeah.
counseling is something that doesn't necessarily, I think that counseling is more like of like you just like taking their idea, you just saying something to them, and not necessarily breaking the things down. When it comes to like therapy, like when you become a therapist, you try to dig a little bit more deeper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think therapists do digging more deeper. You know what I'm saying? But I think before you become a therapist, you gotta understand counseling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta understand how to counsel to actually
Right.
be able to get through therapy with somebody.
to start asking those
deep down questions. You gotta understand how to counsel.
I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that wasn't bad. That was pretty okay.
Yeah. I mean, my mama said I was smart.
It is a little more
I'm proud of
involved
that.
when
Yeah.
you're doing therapy because you're dealing with all of the issues. Whereas
Yeah.
counseling may just be about what's going on at that particular time.
Right.
And
Right.
it's more like, hey, this is what you need to do. Right.
Right.
It's advice. As a therapist, I'm not necessarily giving you advice as much as I'm helping you to see what the truth is of your situation, right? And to help you make the decision, right? Because I'm not making the decision for you.
Okay.
I'm not living the life for you, but I'm helping you kind of peel back the layers. That's going to help you get back to what the real is, so that you can really adjust to your situation.
Man, you say peel back layers. I can
Peel back
imagine.
layers.
Imagine you just laying on the couch, somebody peeling back your layers.
Right. Tears.
It's like tears. That becomes like, I know it's therapeutic, of course. I always want to say that, but like you become vulnerable, and your emotions can take over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And do you feel like as a therapist, well, like when you're doing that, if they don't do that, then it's not necessarily working, or if they're not like opening up and being open and honest with you?
How do you get them to be open and honest?
Well, I mean, usually, by the time they've come to you, in most cases, they're ready.
Okay.
You know, and so it doesn't take much for them to start, pulling up and opening doors and being transparent and pouring out, because now they're in a situation where I need somebody to receive this, right? This is what I came for,
right?
So I'm gonna tell you everything that's been on my mind,
right?
And sometimes it's just a stream of consciousness, right? These are all the things that sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, but that's kind of what they're there for, you know what I mean? So it's not something that you can necessarily say, I didn't do a good job because they didn't cry. Right? That would be foolish. Now, when you're young or when you first start out, you kind of, if I can get them to cry, then we're making progress. Right?
So, like, I mean to cut you off, but like a hard person, I am saying myself hard. I'm very emotional. Like a person that can come off maybe maybe condescending or asshole. Like I'm doing this because she wants me to do that.
Right.
Are those really people hard to get through?
Not in my opinion.
Because they're so condescending that they need that right.
Right.
It's like they're easy to break down, basically.
Well, I wouldn't say they're easy to break down, but it's not an issue as far as being productive, primarily because even though they're saying I'm only here because in your scenario because she wants me to be here, then when she says something that doesn't jive with what he's feeling, right? In most cases, he's going to speak up, right?
Blah blah.
And then all of his feelings are going to start coming out. So it doesn't necessarily mean, like, to go back to what I was saying, it doesn't mean that there has to be tears for it to be effective, you know, because you have to think about the type of person that you're dealing with. Some people are emotional and they have those feelings right at the surface, right? And some people, it takes a while for them to talk through everything before those tears come, or because the emotion comes out, right? So hard, not hard, emotional, sensitive, it really doesn't matter. If you willing to sit down in the chair or on the couch, we'll get to it.
Like now you said that you said some people are hard to break down. Like my significant other, as you met earlier, I felt like when I initially met her, it was hard to break her down. So I can feel where you're coming from. It's like I wanted her to open up, but as me, I'm being such an open person with my feelings, and she told me I was emotionally healthy. You know what I'm saying? Because I was good with my feelings and I was open. Like she said that like you're in tune with your emotions. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I didn't know what that meant at that time, but I think by me being and understanding that the person I'm becoming and what I was, that I was easy to open up, but she was so hard to break down. Like she had like a wall up that I've never experienced before, but it also made a challenge for me. Right. You know what I'm saying? It made me want to see what's behind that wall. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Well, the real person.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And you know what? She may have been giving me the real person all the time because she hasn't changed. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes, a lot of times when people are difficult like that, it's not that they are quote unquote hard as much as they've been hurt so bad that now trust is an issue. So this is who I have to be, right? Not necessarily who I am. Right. You know, and sometimes those same people, they confuse and they start to feel like that's who I am. Right. And they forget who I really am behind the layers and behind the wall, because I have to be this person to survive.
Right. Man, you can't know, because as you saying that, damn, bro, I'm about to jump out this truck. Like as you saying that, because I know her past, right, and I feel like that's the reason, because she was kind of still in survival. But let me not get into too much in that, because I don't want to tell your business.
A lot of people are in survival mode,
of course,
right, and they going through everyday life, and they just kind of feel like this is just what it is. I can't put down the wall, because if I do, what's going to happen? Somebody's taking advantage of me. Somebody's going to hurt me. Right. Somebody's going to let me down again.
That part.
You know, all of that. So, you know, these are the types of things that you deal with as a therapist.
That's normal to feel like that. Because you say most feel like that? That's crazy, man.
Well, when you say normal, that's like suggesting that it's not maladaptive.
I have no idea what that means.
So we all kind of create habits, and we adapt, like you were talking about earlier, to the cards that we're dealt. Right. And so if you're given a hand that you feel like is a bad hand, then you're going to create a situation where you can survive. Right. And there's a healthy way to do it, and there's an unhealthy way to do it. So maladaptive is the unhealthy way to do it. Right. And so a lot of us kind of create these maladaptive tendencies for survival purposes, right? Because it works. Right. Quote unquote. It works.
Quote.
Right. Air quotes.
Man. Dang. Woo.
It just gave a lot.
Yeah. I asked too many questions. My
No,
bad.
no,
My bad.
that's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
We're getting all off. We're kind of still in relationships a little bit.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, but because we have a therapist here, we want to know, why.
Mm-hmm. Dig deeper.
Yeah. You know
that we can't necessarily do, because we, like I said, we give advice, but it's not professional advice.
That's,
you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's why we try to be, we try to bring people on like Sebastan, who he's a professional. This is what he does. This is his job
for a living.
Like, I'm not gonna go to Humvee to be a basketball player. I'm gonna go to Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't brought.
He is.
I'm sorry.
Why you didn't say it so low?
My bad. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I like that. You guys go ahead and do your thing.
Hey, let's keep going.
I want to keep asking questions about us.
No.
But I'm about to pay you for our service, bro. I know, man.
That's why you here.
At the table tonight, man, me and my significant other, man, I say,
they had it out.
I'm going to have to pay him for at least an hour. How much is this, bro? $250?
But it was good.
I'm cheap.
Damn.
It was good.
I got to pay you, bro, because I said, girl, stop, dude. You can't pay this man. You got rent next week.
Hey. Here we go. Why do people fear therapy? Now, when we asked that question, when I asked it early to you, and I don't think, what was my answer? I said I think men are up for it, but they just don't go. And the reason being is because we got responsibilities. We got shit to do.
Right.
Like, we busy.
Right.
Like, I can't take time out to go see a therapist. You know what I'm
talking about men, black men.
Yeah, I was specifically saying black men.
Okay.
So, but this is in general. It can be whatever race.
Okay.
Why do people fear therapy for the most part?
Well, let him answer that.
Well, who wants to be vulnerable? Who wants to be told that they're wrong?
Talk louder so they can hear you.
Who wants to?
I don't want to be vulnerable.
So who wants to be vulnerable?
Who wants to be told that they're wrong? Which, of course, is not the therapist's job. We're not there to tell you that you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And we're going to take that vulnerability to get to the core of what the real issue is. And so that vulnerability is necessary for us to be successful. But people don't want to be open like that a lot of times, because if you find out the real me, right, then you can draw a conclusion about me. And I don't like what I think you'll think about me.
Especially being a stranger.
Especially being.
But that's your job,
but
bro.
I thought you, like, a stranger can get the most out of a person, right?
Yes and no.
Especially when that person is, like, kind of upset about certain issues dealing with their significant other, and they don't even want a friend. They just want somebody new. To receive these feelings that I'm feeling and give me your opinion.
Right.
And you bet not be the same as my mate. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
You better be biased.
Right.
They want you to be biased. They want
Right.
But at the same, that's a professional opinion.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, you can't go into therapy wanting somebody to fix your partner. Right. It doesn't work. So you have to go in trying to figure out, what is it about me?
Right.
That's creating an issue for me in the context of the relationship, right? So most of the time, it's not even the relationship that's the problem. It's how I see the relationship, what I expect from the relationship, what I think you're supposed to be doing in the relationship. And so because you're not doing what I think you're supposed to do, then we're going to go see this professional and they're going to fix you.
It's not like that. It's not like that. It's about I gotta fix me first,
right,
for you.
So I've been to couples therapy once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was married.
Okay.
And
was it an actual therapist, or were you with a pastor?
Oh, I was with a pastor.
I think that's important.
Yeah, I was with a pastor.
Because I think I don't want to be one. Something.
No, go ahead.
Because I'm really not into the whole. Anyway, I'm not into the Christianity thing, but I feel like when it comes to a pastor, they put their morals and their beliefs on you more on the religious side.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion, I may be wrong. But it's in my opinion.
Right.
Like, they put the Christianity all on you. But like when it comes to a professional therapist, they're gonna give you the they're gonna break down to the root. To a counselor, they're gonna break down to the root.
I see what you're saying.
Would you agree with that?
Well, I mean, I would think that's why you're going to a pastor, right? Because you're wanting that, like, show me what the Bible tells us about this particular issue, because we don't agree on how we perceive this particular topic, right? So that's why you would go to them. Now, does that mean that as a Christian you shouldn't go to a therapist? No, you should. You know, and I think that should be a part of everybody's life. Everybody should have a therapist, right?
Everybody should have a therapist.
Everybody should.
Sebastan Moore.
Quoted. Everybody,
because everybody needs that mental or that what is it that? Why does everybody need a mental?
It's that mental health. It's that maintenance.
That black people don't. Most black people don't care for it. Because what were we saying earlier? Because of what is just like
I was saying, like, about religion, since we was talking about it. Like, we pray. We pray we pray the
problems away.
Yeah, we pray the problems away.
The mental issue.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that is not the prayer portion of it. Right. But the fact that deals with your emotions in the moment. But somebody has to help you find the tools to change the behavior that led to the emotions.
Prayer comes with work, like you said.
It comes with works. And so we want to eliminate the works part and just lean on the faith part and just say, well, Jesus, fix it. Well, yeah. But at the same time, you know, there are people there to give you that unbiased opinion, because here's the missing piece that we don't talk about. If your relationship with God is not strong, then you're not going to hear what those clues are. You're not going to see, even if it's, you know, literally on a billboard, you say, God, give me a sign, and then there's a billboard that answers your question. You're not going to make the connection because your relationship is not strong enough. So if your relationship is strong like that, then maybe you don't need to have a professional, even though I still, as a professional, feel that way, right? And I'm biased in that particular area. But anybody else, right? You kind of need somebody to say, okay, aside from your religious belief, aside from your cultural belief, aside from this, aside from that, what is the issue, right? And so my job is to say, okay, well, let me take into account your religious belief and take into account your cultural belief, and so forth and so on. And how does that impact how you see the world and your expectations for this situation, right? And so then I'm going to help point you in a direction to say, okay, well, this makes sense, but it doesn't make sense in light of what you just said. What you said was you wanted X, Y, and Z, and your actions are A, B, and C. So which do you want, the actions, or which one do you want? And then let's help you find out which one you want and make all that stuff line up.
That was just like the question that I asked. Let me just go to it and let me ask it. If you're upset over something in your relationship, how do you address a person that only wants to make things about what they want it to be about, instead of facing what's being said to them by the upset party?
Yeah, because like
that's a lot of shit.
My person, they even when you're arguing with somebody, like it's like they start piling stuff on top of the like, okay, you're not getting to like we're starting to argue about I need to fix the fence, but then all of a sudden I gotta fix the sink, toilet, bro, and all that. They start piling stuff like that's basically what you're saying, right? Okay, it's like get to the point. Like, okay, basically what they're saying, like, well, I need to start taking care of my business. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
I'll ask it again. Y'all listen. If you're upset over something in your relationship, how do you address a person that only wants to make things about what they want it to be about, instead of facing what's being said to them by the upset party?
Well, I know what you can't do is try to force them to see what you're saying. Right? Because all that is going to create more of this.
I've been wrong all the time.
You can't force them to see what you're saying. And I mean, I feel like we all do it. Right? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
chew the gum.
Right. And so then you say the same thing using the same words with a different tone. Right? And so that's why we're arguing, because now I'm talking about this and you talking about this, but we're still talking about two very different perspectives about the same situation. Right? So it's very difficult to get there. So somebody in that scenario has to be adept enough to say, okay, what is it that you're trying to say, right? Ask the questions, and that's one of the things that doesn't happen enough in those situations. There are not enough questions being asked. So what are you saying?
Right.
What is the problem that
what
you
is
see?
the root issue?
Right.
Okay, so what does that mean to you? Well, so how do you define that? Right? And so when you start to asking those questions,
the right questions,
then you start to get answers. And now I can address it. Okay, so we're not even, at this point, we're not talking about the same thing.
That's usually what it is.
That's usually what it is.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
Sometimes it's, well, I'm just speak for me in my situation. She says, she says, we talking about that, but it's the same, and I give my side, and she gives her side, but she says it a different way. And I said, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Well, don't say it like that. Just that little petty, like, you too old to be, you know what I'm saying, trying to change the whole narrative of a same subject piece that we talking about.
Right.
Like, how do you address that?
Well, semantics matter.
Here we go with that word, semantics.
They do matter.
They do. I know they do.
You know, and that's the nonverbal cues.
You didn't like that. You didn't like that. You didn't like that at all.
Damn.
Oh, shout out to Gabby Hargrove. Happy birthday. She's also an LPC. She's one of close friends of mine.
Okay.
And she was saying, she was shouting you out too, Sebastian. She was saying, good thing. And she's jealous that I have you on the show. Well, who cares?
She cool. I feel like that's not what she said.
No, she didn't.
I feel like that's what you said.
Good TV.
So it's going to therapy. It sounds like it so far. Since we've been in the truck, going to therapy is a sign of you working on yourself.
Okay, so I want to get back
especially as a man, right?
Yeah. I want to get to that question of we talk about the one-on-one. Remember I was saying, like, okay, me sitting down with my significant other and we talking one-on-one. We being, like you say, honest. Well, maybe we already touched on that, but you know what I'm saying, like,
what's the setting?
Like, we're in the room, we're alone. We both been upset. We've been fighting.
On the floor in the bed.
I don't know.
Indian style. A lot of that shit matter, huh?
Doesn't matter.
It can.
Wow,
Well,
really?
you know, all
baby oil or lotion.
I feel like that's a different conversation.
All right, go ahead.
Christian man, come on, man. Keep it respectful. But no, we across the table, one-on-one. We maybe a fight earlier that day. You know what I'm saying? It's fighting going on for like a couple of weeks. We're fighting on and off. You say, we gotta talk. The talk has not happened. And then finally, like 3 weeks later, after we've been fighting, fussing, we need to talk, fighting, fussing, it ain't gonna work. And the talk finally happened. You say, sit down, be honest, be open. You say that's not necessarily always good, right?
Right.
So, I mean, like, I think that could be, like I said, it could be therapeutic, but it may not help the situation. You know what I'm saying? It could be, or more of like a counsel, because we're telling each other what we want, but we're not digging deeper.
And
you know
it's okay. It's okay, and it's good that you can sit down and have that conversation and say, this is what I want to see. And and there are times when that can be what's needed to fix the issue, right? But the thing is, a lot of times, you just spent 3 weeks to get to that conversation that took you 20, 30 minutes.
Wow.
Right? Versus you go to a therapist, you spend that same 3 weeks, and not only do you work on that issue, but you work on some of the big rocks, so that those smaller issues, because that's a lot of times what it is, it's like they're tributaries, right? You got this big river, you got these little tributaries, and you arguing about all the tributaries, right? And nobody's talking about the river. This is the big thing that's flowing through the middle of our relationship that's creating all these little problems.
Right.
And so that's ideally what you're going to get when you go to therapy. You're like, okay, well, this is what, as a therapist, this is what I'm hearing.
Right.
This is the issue. So y'all talking about the symptoms.
Right. And it won't be no bias that you get from her, she talking to her friend, and me talking to Humvee.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
because you're going to, everybody has a friend, or you should have a friend that'll be completely 100 with you, completely honest.
Yeah, definitely.
But even with that, there are going to be a lot of times, I think I mentioned this earlier, that person knows more about you than I would, right? They were there when the breakup happened, or they were there when the argument happened, so they feel for you in a way that I would not necessarily feel for you, right? I don't like to see my boy like this.
Yeah.
So, bro, you need to just, right?
You need to just. It's always that.
Right.
It's always that, bro. You know we just said that.
You ain't got to take this,
bro.
You was fine before we came.
How many times have
You'll be all right before we, all of that kind of stuff, right? And
definitely.
In their heart, most of the times, right? They're trying to really be a good friend, right? They really are. But there are also scenarios where, you know, with the therapist, you take that part out of it, right? I don't have anything necessarily to gain because after we leave, I won't see you for another week, right? You're gonna do the work that we do in the session. You're gonna do the work. Between now and the next time I see you.
Is the work more important than the therapy?
I feel like you have to do the therapy in order to figure out what the work is.
Okay. So maybe the therapy trumps all, because if you're not breaking down those barriers to understand what the work needs to be done, I just convinced myself. Yeah.
I guess that's why it takes time. Like you gonna finally have a breakthrough like in session 7. You know what I'm saying?
Like it takes some people like me. I think I might have breakthrough session.
And it goes back to what you were saying earlier, like. You're describing people who have walls up, but honestly, we all do. Right? Even the emotional person, because your wall might not be that I've been hurt, but your wall might be that I feel like I'm right. So it's gonna take.
So I feel like I'm right as a wall.
Absolutely.
I face that wall every day.
I hate that.
Absolutely.
I face that wall every day.
I might feel like I'm right because of all of this stuff that's a part of my makeup. Right. But in this particular situation with this particular person, right, if I'm going to make it work, then that doesn't apply to this. Right? So I have to be willing to say, okay, well, maybe that worked before when I was in survival mode. But now, when I'm in this relationship with this person, they don't bring that issue. I'm now bringing the issue, and I'm making it a problem when it wasn't. Or it doesn't have to be.
So, like, it basically bringing another problem from a previous relationship.
Which we most, if not all, right? You bring use some of your parts in most cases.
Yeah, right? So baggage is common.
It's absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I posted one time a long time ago. I packed. It was just a suitcase that was just overflowing. Right. And I basically said, unpack your suitcase first.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. I had a question.
I'm gonna ask another question.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You said unpack your suitcase first. You unpack that suitcase through therapy, or like being open and honest with that person you're trying to begin a relationship with? Is that like when you say okay, I come into a new relationship, I do have my issues, and you say unpackage that baggage. Do I need to do that with her, or do I need to do that with myself?
I would suggest you do it with yourself.
Okay.
Because if you become better then the byproduct is the relationship becomes better. Right?
And that's her baggage or your personal baggage?
Your baggage. You can't go worry about fixing her baggage, and she can't worry about fixing yours.
Right.
If I'm better, if I'm an insecure individual, then I'm bringing that insecurity to the relationship. So when you call me 15 minutes later than you said you would, then I'm going to draw all kinds of conclusions about that. Right? But if I'm not insecure anymore, then we don't even have that argument. Right? So by me being more secure, then that's one less argument we have. We don't have that issue anymore. Right? And then on the other end, if she has a particular issue, whatever the case may be, and she works through that, then now it just manifests. Really, a lot of times it's your personal issue manifest in the relationship. Right? Because it's going to create situations where it can. But it's easy for me to mask my insecurity or whatever that issue is on a day-to-day basis with myself, at work, with my boys.
Because your boys don't get around still.
My Lord. All right, here we go. What are some things that men do that make a relationship toxic?
Nothing. You don't do nothing. You don't do anything that makes a relationship toxic.
Well,
we're awesome.
We are awesome. I don't think we necessarily are aware of the ways that we're awesome. We kind of tend to stick with what we're socialized to believe, and so we aren't willing to do things that are different from that script that we've been presented. Right? Your job is to pay, to fix, to buy.
I think that's my problem. I always want
You
fix a problem. Like I feel like when it's an issue, I think it's my job to fix it. Like I'd had significant girls I was dating, like they'd come home to me with a problem, like anything. I'd be like, okay, she want me to fix it.
let me give you that solution.
It's not necessarily that. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's like maybe she just want to vent.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, oh, she doing what? Well, you need to do this. You know,
yeah, I'm gonna show you what to do.
Yeah,
it's not about that.
It's not about that. Yeah. I don't know.
But that just goes to what we talked about earlier. We communicate differently,
mm-hmm.
right? And we have different needs when we communicate. We're communicating for different reasons. Right. I have a different way to feel fulfilled in a relationship. Right. As a man, and you have a different need as a woman. Right. And then you add on top of that, from a personality standpoint, what I need. Right. So all these different combinations are what confuses people, because you're going in thinking this is the answer.
It's not the answer.
It's not just the answer. You have to take into account the context, the person, the individual, their background, your background. And that's what therapy does, right? Okay, well, sounds like you have an issue with this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so did you know that she has an issue with that? Well, that's not what she told me.
She said, well, right. That's not what she told me.
I knew that one. Yeah.
Keep talking.
So, I don't know, did I answer your question?
You did.
Okay.
You did.
He's answering all the questions with perfect thought. Guys, make sure you share the show. We got licensed professional counselor, Mr. Sebastan Moore here. If you got any questions, IG, put your questions up. Humvee go read it from the sideways, or I'm gonna try to read it. Instagram, if you got any questions, relationship question, topic, put your questions on the screen, and we will try to answer. Well, he will try to answer professionally. Yeah. We'll give you horrible answers, but go ahead.
If you go to therapy,
It's therapy.
Mm-hmm. You know that's that cough syrup.
That's Theraflu.
If you go to therapy, I just said it on purpose. If you go to therapy, does that make you crazy? Does therapy make you crazy?
It makes you smart.
Well, you know, if you go to therapy, you know, like how soldiers, if they go, you know, they shoot somebody.
That's what PTSD. Yeah.
Something like you got to go see a shrink, and you know, for regular folks like you and I, you know, we go to therapy, and you know, say if we finna go apply for a job, we have to put that on there. Like that's gonna be on our resume, not resume, but like application for employment. So that's gonna like, is that leaving like a stigma? You know what I'm saying? So how is that making us?
In your mind.
No, in their mind.
Whose mind?
The employer.
The person that you haven't met.
Yeah. I want the job though, nigga.
Okay, so
you stupid. I want the job though.
So what you're telling me is you're willing to change who you really are and what you really had to do for yourself for a job.
Don't sound like you are. The way you looking right now, don't look like you ready to do that.
I mean, they paying.
If they paying.
Yeah.
Stop,
Okay.
bro. Stop.
There's this thing called
bro.
peace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. I can dig that.
Bro.
I can dig that.
Stop. Stop it right now.
I'm being honest though. Like shit. What? You know what I'm saying? Right?
No.
You don't agree with it?
I would think that if they're asking if you've been to therapy, there's not the stigma that we tend to put on it
Right.
in other circles.
Can they even ask you that?
Can they ask that?
They do ask you that on the application.
If you've been to therapy, I've never had that on the application.
Sorry. I'm finna be a doctor. Next question. How do you become emotionally available?
That's a good one. How do you become emotionally available?
Now, should I add to it as a man or just emotionally available?
Well, I mean, it might mean something different for an individual, maybe not necessarily a man or a woman.
Okay.
But we are predisposed to certain characteristics as men and women, if that's what you mean.
Right.
But emotionally available, that comes back to that wall, right? So first you have to be honest with yourself. Like, you got to be real with yourself. Right? Am I a geek or not? Right? Or am I sensitive or not? Right? Am I perpetrating thug life because I feel like I have to or not?
Because I want to fit in or something, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you are presenting an image for, like we talked about, survival mode, because I feel like that's going to be one of the things. If you're in survival mode at all times,
that's part of being okay.
Then you're not going to ever really be truly emotionally available because your survival mode won't allow it, right? Because that's going back to being vulnerable, right? That's what emotions are, right? You're being emotionally available. That means you're also being vulnerable. That's the thing with love, right? That's what people are afraid of, because I'm going to open myself up in a way that you can now hurt me.
So when somebody, when my significant other told me that I was emotionally healthy, is that being emotionally available? Or that just me?
In theory, it's being emotionally available. It just kind of depends. Mm-hmm. Like, are you also willing to say, "Hey, that hurt my feelings"?
Oh yeah, I'm having a problem admitting when
your feelings get hurt.
Tethered with,
Tethered. That's a good one.
Yeah, when I've definitely. Cause I don't like to say my feelings hurt, but like.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, if that's what it is,
I've been tethered with, but right. It's like I have no problem saying that. It's like really, you gonna say that? Like, So maybe I am, cause like I'm very open about my emotions.
Yeah.
But I think this is gonna sound stupid to you, but the Scorpios we hold our emotions on our sleeve.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm a Scorpio, and I hold my emotions on my sleeve, and I cannot help that.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
That's probably why people tend to draw to us, because we're honest with our emotions. Like I can't hide that shit. Like if I'm emotional, I'm gonna tear up. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care. Yeah, I mean it's got to be something I'm really emotional about.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing at all. Kudos.
You gotta be authentic. I mean, I wouldn't even say kudos. I mean, I appreciate that, but I mean, it's like to me, it's like that's just who I am. Like, and I don't care if you don't like it or not.
Right.
You know, it's like that's what I'm gonna be. I feel like that some people accept it, and if you don't accept it, oh well.
But there are a lot of people that I've worked with folks who are trying to get to that.
I don't see how can you not be that.
Well, that's because that's your perspective, that's your world, right? But maybe being transparent with your feelings has helped you deal with your feelings, right? Maybe in their mind, avoiding them or ignoring those feelings has helped them, right? And that's what we talk about when we say maladaptive coping skills and all that kind of stuff. What I feel like works for me, I'm going to continue to do, right? So if you hurt me and then the next time I act like it didn't bother me and it didn't seem like I was hurt, then I'm going to keep acting like it doesn't bother me. So then when you come talking about...
Is that suppressed?
Well, could be.
Yeah. What you were saying again?
Right, but basically if I come to you and I'm saying, and I see you crying, I can be like, man, bro, for real?
Yes. Yes.
Right, but that's not how I cope.
Right. Because your coping mechanism was just let it go and
like it didn't happen.
Right.
So emotionally available is not generally like all about crying. Like you don't gotta cry.
No, it's not about tears. Just like we were talking earlier about therapy. Do they have to cry for it to be an effective session? No.
Right. Okay.
But were we able to achieve something? They can laugh. If they can have a moment of realization, like, that's what
that light bulb click, huh?
Then that didn't require tears, but that's what we were trying to do. We were trying to get you to have that epiphany, so you can say, that's what the issue is.
Yeah, but I done had so many dang epiphanies since
a bunch of epiphanies.
About 7:30.
Right.
For real. God dang.
What's one epiphany?
It's when something. I like what you were saying earlier. When it comes to relationships and us, meaning our community, I don't know the best on that, but maybe the black community. Right. You say we know what infatuation and what's the word? Anger.
So in between that is what?
He said in between that it's hard to deal with that, right?
And in between that is trauma, right?
Well, I mean, trauma is a really tricky word to throw out there.
Disappointment, maybe?
It can be disappointment, it can be hurt feelings, it can be excitement, it can be nerves, fear of being, it could be any of those things, right? But what we were talking about was in that relationship, a lot of times we're socialized to ignore our feelings.
Right.
In our community.
In our community.
Right.
Right.
So you shut up all that noise, boy. Stop all that crying.
Right.
From the time you were this big, right? And then for her, you know, there are a lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there are a lot of times, well, girl, you don't need that. You can do that all by yourself. You're a beautiful black queen. You know, you don't need no scrubs. Like, there's been generations.
Looking for happy.
Right. It's generations of songs and people and songs and plays and friends that have told her that you are optional. I don't need you. Which, to be fair, you don't need her, and she doesn't need you, right? You're in this relationship, ideally, I would think, because you want to be with them, and they help you complete the vision, right?
That boy saying some stuff, bro. I don't want nobody to need me. I want somebody to want me. I mean to cut you off.
Want and need.
But you be saying some stuff, touch me, bro. It's like, no, I want to figure out.
But it's okay if you want.
Yeah, I understand.
I told Annie.
I'm not going to cry.
Damn, my baby tissues.
No, go ahead. No tears. But I mean, it's like when you say want and need. I had a homeboy. He told me the reason why he married his wife because she told him, and I was like, what? I thought it was so stupid. But he was like, man, my wife said she didn't need me. And I was thinking, like, what? She wanted me. And I was like, why did you marry her? But I didn't understand that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I don't need you. Meaning, I don't need you for this, or this. I can take care of myself. I'm an independent, responsible black woman.
Right.
But I want you here. Because you do things outside of that makes my house make me whole.
Right.
Or make me better.
Exactly.
Right, not necessarily whole, because ideally you would be two whole people coming together. Not two halves making a whole. Right. So, yeah, you would want somebody that wants to be with you, not because, I don't know how to, I don't know how I'm gonna raise these kids without you. I don't know how to pay these bills without you. I don't know how I can't eat.
You don't want nobody like that.
No, you want, like, I can fend for myself. I can do this on my own.
Right.
But it's better with you. Right? You bring a completeness, right? These are areas you're strong where I'm weak.
Yeah.
Right? You have goals that, I can support. I'm in line with what your values are, like all of that kind of stuff. That's what you want. Right? But if we don't make it, I won't die. I'll be sad.
Of course. But I'll be A-okay without you.
But I can be okay without you. I would prefer to do whatever's necessary for us to make it. Right, because you're that valuable to me, you're that special to me, you're that important to me. Right, and vice versa. Right, but if I need somebody that's gonna pay these bills, well, if that's your outlook, or if I just need somebody, because I just need somebody laid out, you know what I mean? Well, then that's gonna create a lot of tension in other areas. When that need doesn't get fulfilled, then that's gonna create tension.
Right. It's kind of heavy in here.
Shit.
Is it hot? Because the AC is over pretty high.
Oh, bro?
Now, at the moment, I'm actually, it's tippy.
Okay. What? I didn't know what that means.
Well, you said tethered, so I figured I could throw tippy.
Yeah,
that's a big word.
Hey.
That's why I gotta Google.
What gender is more in use of accountability?
What do you mean in use of accountability?
Like in their relationships.
Like who accountable more?
Yeah, who is more accountable? Like men or women? Like, hey, I, as a man, I know I did this wrong or such and such, whatever.
Man.
Wait, let me make sure I understand the question.
X, Y, and Z, and I'm sorry.
Men. If you're gonna say based on that what you just said, men
are more accountable, or should
we have to be accountable.
We are. If we want,
they make us accountable.
If we want to stay in that relationship, we gotta be accountable for if it's the most smallest, pettiest thing, we'll take accountability.
We gotta take accountability for that, because
it sounds like you saying blame.
Damn, no.
That's probably what you is.
No, I'm saying accountable. I'm saying accountable. But I understand what you're saying, though.
But you don't mean accountable.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
So not who is more to blame, but like who takes responsibility of their actions in a relationship.
Okay, so let's back up, because what you said was, what he said was, they're gonna make us accountable or hold us accountable. So that's not what you're saying, though. So what you're suggesting is that individual, of their own volition, voluntarily says, hey, I was wrong about this particular thing, or hey, this particular thing is my responsibility. That's different from what he was saying, which was somebody else is going to make sure that I do the aforementioned.
I like the latter. I don't want to take on the blame.
Okay.
Just to end like the fighting or whatever it is. I want, like, I'm gonna take accountability for my actions and what I did. And I don't know if she does that a lot.
That's what I'm saying too. I'm saying the latter. Right. I'm saying that I have took blame. That's the word. I've took blame. I've taken the blame because I want.
And it's not to end the fighting between you two. It's just, you know.
I know I had fault in it. I know I had fault in this. And I have done that recently, and I felt like that my significant other does not do that. So that's why I quick to say man. And it's not only been in this relationship, it's been previous relationships. It's like, okay, I can admit when I've done wrong. Yes, and then I get attacked. That's why I say, okay, I always get attacked.
What does that mean, attacked?
Like, yes, because you did do wrong because you did. Okay, but what did you do wrong?
That part.
Will you hold yourself accountable?
Come on now.
And then, what did I do wrong? So you have to sit there and break down what they did wrong. Oh, and now they justify that. Like, no.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe
that's right.
Oh, that's an unhealthy relationship. That's probably why it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
So, after hearing all that, there's no female in here, so you got to go with us.
We're gonna bring y'all with both and make y'all fight.
I feel like the more mature men are more willing to be accountable, right?
Because I'm extremely mature. Yeah.
If you're saying like just men off top, then that probably isn't an accurate statement because that's not taking into account all the other stuff that we just got to talking about, right? But a mature man would say, hey, I was wrong for X, Y, Z, and Q.
And sometimes Z.
Right.
And maybe sometimes Z. Whatever it is, and ideally to be the first to say, whatever the situation is, however we got here, this is the part that I see that I did that got us here. So I'm apologizing for my part in it, or I'm just taking ownership for my part, or I'm saying, hey, when I did this, that wasn't cool.
Right. That doesn't always make you right, though.
Not necessarily.
I had a feeling he was going to say that. Not necessarily. I take ownership for it. I'm wrong. So that make you, it's basically trying to make yourself like the bigger man. When you're really not.
Right. You're trying to make yourself a martyr.
And then you readdress it when y'all in bed after y'all done had sex. So, you know what you did.
They said, no, boy, don't start that, man.
Right, start it all over again.
No, you know they ain't trying to hear that. They is not trying to hear
that.
But
you do have to, and it is, and I talk a lot about equity versus equality.
Okay.
So there is a need, in my opinion, for men in these relationships to, be the men in their relationships, right? And so accountability is a part of that. You have to be the first to take your ownership of your part in it. Right. And it is important to have those conversations about, like, this is the part that was an issue for me.
Right.
And are you willing to see how that was an issue for me? Right. But it's different to say, this hurt me or this bothered me or, I didn't agree with that. Do you see my point of view? That's different from saying, but what you did was. Right?
So don't say, this hurt me, this bothered me. You saying don't say that?
I'm saying that's probably better because that's really what you're saying.
Okay.
Right? You're really saying, when you said that, I didn't like that. Right. That made me feel this way. Or,
you know what?
That really bothered me.
No. He's right, bro.
Yeah, he's right. But
they
don't want to hear that.
When I've said it that way, she understood. Like, it was an issue. This is like maybe 3 days ago. It was an issue and something happened. I work it down to her, like, you said this, and it makes me feel this way, but I don't feel this way about this guy. She's like, oh, wow, okay. And she told me like that later on that day. Like, we broke down. She understood. We didn't break down, but like, I see where you're coming from. It's like, intertwined. So yeah, that's like. So don't necessarily say I'm wrong. I know what's wrong. I did this wrong. Just say, okay, I know it's wrong, but by you saying this, it made me feel this way. It's a way you can say it and express it, and they'll understand it.
Well, you have to speak. You know, you have to speak your lady's language, and ideally, she would learn to speak your language. Right, because we're speaking two different languages.
You ain't lying.
So
men are from Mars and women are from Venus.
It's true. We're speaking. You know, we communicate, and I said that before, right? We're communicating with a different goal in mind.
Right.
And we have different needs from the communication. So, you know,
different needs from a communication. That was deep. Like, what do you think women need from communication?
Connectedness.
And men?
Connectedness.
Solution.
So when I cause like I'm like, okay, we doing all this arguing, we haven't came to a solution in my mind.
What that's are you talking about? Is what you're saying.
Exactly. Like, okay, so how can we solve this? But she just wants to connect.
A lot of times.
Man, bro,
Connect.
Okay, show over. You done.
Jesus.
Yeah, we done. Cause bro, like I feel what you're saying, bro. I feel what you. Did they teach you this in school? I need to read these books. God dang.
Hey, let me give a true or false question real quick. A true or false? You know how to do it.
We only got 9 people watching.
Sorry, fellas.
-8. Go ahead.
This is for the fellas. Adapting to a woman's ways makes everything run smoothly. True or false?
Who's answering that?
You.
False.
I'm gonna say, say it again.
Okay. True or false, fellas? Adapting to a woman's ways makes everything run smoothly. True.
Well, through my selfishness, I'm gonna say false, but it's probably for all the wrong reasons because I don't think that I have to abide by your rules to make us happy. It shouldn't
happy
be.
wife, happy life.
Yes, and I hate that terminology. I cannot stand it. You know, back in early shows, we will always say that.
Happy husband, happy.
I was like, no, what about the man's point of view?
Happy spouse, happy house.
Oh, I like that. Gender appropriate and everything.
Come on, what happened to that? What happened to the happy spouse, happy house?
Happy
So, okay, we know happy wife,
house.
happy life, but no, man. I want to be happy too. I want to feel appreciated, loved, connected, all of that. Just like as my woman should feel that too.
Okay.
And that's why I never felt that. Like I would have a friend, he would tell me, oh man, hey, let's go out to the spot, go have a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
Oh man, I gotta call my wife, see if I can go. Like, what?
He said, what?
Wait a minute. Yeah, man, that's how it is when you get married. Happy life, happy wife. No, I guess I ain't never getting married then, because you ain't finna tell me what I can and can't do.
That totally changed.
But,
the happy house, happy spot, that totally changed the game. For real, like it did.
He to put it down.
Yeah, definitely, it did.
But you feel what I'm saying, right, Mr. Morris, Mr. Bastion, so it's like, yo, I don't know.
So you going with false?
Absolutely.
And why?
For a number of reasons. One, that's not equitable, right? So that does
equity off a woman's word, right?
I'm huge on equity, but it's not equitable because that means that the happiness of the relationship is always based on the feelings of one person, and feelings in and of themselves are
on one person.
And it's both of us in this, right? So,
come on, bro.
Break it down. Keep going.
That's why it shouldn't be happy wife. Come on, bro. Break it down. Can you say it again, bro? Come on, fam. Come on, because he believes in equity, and equity should not be in one person's happiness, right? Did you say that? Say it right? Come on, bro. It's two people in a relationship, and I always said that. I was like, no, I'm not just finna make my wife happy without making myself happy,
right? Because
I need my mental stability and my mental, health as well.
Definitely.
I always felt that, and I feel like, man, and everybody's like, no, DB, you being selfish. And I was like, what? Because I want to be mentally happy in my relationship. Well, I guess I'm being selfish.
Well, I mean, intent is a big part of it, right?
Okay.
So you can do the right thing for the wrong reason, right? So if I buy you some flowers to shut you up, then that's not the same as I bought you some flowers because I was thinking about you.
And they be wanting that shit too.
Right? But if I say I love you because you said you love me, that's not the same as saying I just want you to know I love you. Right? So intent is a big part of it, and we kind of take it to action at face value. So I mean, it does matter why you feel that way, but no, you should want to be, and I would hope that you choose someone that says, you know, hey, you know, I support you and your dreams and hopes and so forth and so on. And, you know, hey, I know you are into X, Y, or Z. So, babe, go have a good time. Or, you know, hey, I'll go with you because I know you like it. I don't necessarily like it, but I'll go because it's you, right? And then you turn around and like, hey, I'm going to go to this thing that I don't necessarily want to go to. But
The Lion King.
But because it's you and you like it, then I'm going to enjoy it because it's you.
Because it's you.
Right?
You
So
not wrong.
I don't want to say Lion King.
the movie?
What's wrong with you?
Oh, because Beyonce ain't, we got to go see it?
No, because it's the Lion King. What are you talking about?
Or both?
No.
I didn't.
What has the Lion King done for me?
A
Nothing.
lot?
Be quiet, bro.
Oh, I just can't wait.
All the classics.
I don't care for that. I never cared for that. I never
You're
cared.
not a classic.
I'm not a classic guy. I don't want to watch Friday again.
Excuse me.
I just don't care for watching the movie over. Once
Not
I
a
see
classic.
it, I really don't. I'm
I'm a classic.
Yeah, I don't
So
care.
you won't watch a movie over?
I mean, I will if it's on TV. I'll watch it, but like I'm not gonna. Oh, let me put on Friday and watch it over again. No, I'm not gonna ever do that. For what? I've seen it already.
This guy.
Am I weird for that?
No.
It's not weird, but I just
No, it's not.
so
It's just-
even your favorite movies, you don't necessarily say.
You watched it?
No, I'm not gonna put it on purpose and watch it. No,
So you never put in The Last Dragon and watched it?
no.
Coming to America.
I have never put. No, okay. If I see it on TV and I stop and I caught a scene and I may watch all the way through, but like I have not purposely ever in my life put in the movie and that's a classic and watched it because I wanted to watch it.
So you don't buy DVDs
No,
or
I really
any
don't.
of that. You
No.
never did that.
Oh, let me see. I might be lying.
They went to Blockbuster a couple times.
No, I don't. I have. Oh, I'm lying. I like Chappelle's show. I have. No, I haven't
Rewatched
done
it.
that. I have bought it, but I never rewatched it. I bought it, but never watched it. Yeah.
He's got me literally scratching.
Yeah. Scratch.
I don't know. I don't care for that. But I'm a sports guy. I'm
Big
extremely
sports,
sports.
big
I'm
sports,
sports.
big
Everything. Yeah, so.
You watch a game again?
Oh yeah, I do that, bro. I watched the.
Okay, so
I watched.
really a preference thing.
Yeah, I watched NBA Finals over again. I watched Summer League games over again. That's
Okay, wow,
weird.
that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm a sports guy. Yeah.
Let's talk about social media real quick. Can social media?
You may have to work more. Come on.
Can social media make your relationship, make the spouse neglectful in your relationship?
Absolutely.
Being on social media all the time, being on your phone all the time.
It can make your date be neglectful. You didn't have to get to the point of marriage. But I mean, that's what we do across the board, right? We're connected to our phones. Like, how many times you pick up your phone for no reason other than to pick up your phone?
It's just like a like we magnetized to them. It's like I have picked up my phone and had something happen. Like, why I got my phone in my hand? I have done that numerous times.
Right.
Because it's just like
It's a reaction. Like you walk out the room, you cut the light off.
Yeah.
You walk in the restroom, use the restroom, you wash your hands. That's wow. Why's my phone in my hand? I was gonna do something.
That's supported.
And then I click it off.
Right. It's
Support.
definitely something that's an issue. Just across the board in all forms of technology. And then you have when people they vent using
on social
technology.
media.
I think that's so embarrassing.
And it's not this is why you have a therapist.
Do you think that's therapeutic to do that? Online?
Maybe in their mind at that time,
Okay.
right? Because I get it out.
Right.
But ultimately, you're going to either get back criticism, right?
Majority of the
Or
time. Oh wow.
with it being your people that are your quote unquote friends, whatever that may mean on that social media site, you're going to get support that may not necessarily be warranted, right? Because you're going to put out your version of it. Right? You're not going to put out the unbiased truth more often than not. And a lot of times, even though you think you are, you may not be putting out the unbiased truth. And so they're going to respond in your favor more than likely because, one, they're your friend, and two, because the picture that you painted
is make yourself look right.
You're the hero, because we're all the hero in our own story.
I'm always the hero.
Right? Always. You know, very rarely are we going to come in and say, man, I walked in this house and I disrespected my wife. I talked to her, I was harsh, I was mean, and then I stormed out. And then say, man, but she was tripping because I left. Like, you're not going to do that. You gonna say, man, all I did was walk in the house and I said, what's up? And then she was like, tripping. You know, like, in your version of it, we're always the one that's always the one that's victimized.
You're the victimized.
Hey, man. I mean, I can keep going, but...
Keep going.
You think the social media makes somebody's relationship...
does it bring neglectfulness into your relationship?
It absolutely
being
can.
on social
As
media.
you said, okay.
Absolutely.
It does. Toxicity. That's a word.
That's a big word.
You're being toxic. You're bringing too much toxicness into this relationship.
Is that one a word? Toxicness?
Toxicness.
Is that a word? Google it.
I don't know. So how can you tell?
You say toxicity, you're bringing too much toxicity into, right?
Yeah.
Into the relationship.
Toxicity.
Toxicity.
Right?
I don't stop. Come on.
How can you tell if your relationship?
Myself.
How can you tell if your relationship is toxic? And how do you address it? And see,
Does arguments mean your relationship is toxic?
No.
too much arguing, right?
Could. Sometimes it's growing pains, right? Because when you're bringing two people together, right, with different pasts and experiences and expectations, then you're gonna have that, because I came in thinking this is how it's supposed to happen, and you came in thinking this is how it's supposed to happen.
An expectation.
And so you come in, you're trying to impose your expectations on them, and they're trying to impose their expectations on you.
Not gonna work.
And it takes time for you to figure out this list of things are not really worth arguing about. You do how you want to do.
Right.
You know,
Makes sense.
these are the things that we need to come to an agreement about. Right? Or, you know, we need to lean to you on this one, and then I'm gonna lean to you on that one. That type of thing. So, the toxic part, like what I've said before, is it's hard to say the relationship is toxic without recognizing what it is about you.
Right.
That's picking this toxic situation. And that's the real trick, because we again are always the victim or the hero more often than not. So you did this to me.
Right.
You're bad to me, right? And ignoring the fact that I do have a choice. I can leave. Right? And so if you decide to stay in that bad situation, then you have to figure out what it is about you that's making you willing to stay in the situation that you know is bad.
What?
Everybody needs therapy, y'all.
Everybody needs therapy.
Do you think everybody needs lifelong therapy?
Well, when you say lifelong, define that.
Kill that dog.
Like when I say lifelong, old yeller. When I say, when I say,
if you got to do lifelong, shit.
I mean, like to keep yourself like mentally healthy. Like you just not every week, but like maybe once a month, once every 2 months.
I think that's a good.
To go see your therapist.
Yeah. Just to check in and say, hey, this is what's going on in my world.
Yeah.
You know, hey, this is how I handle these tricky situations, and what kind of give me some feedback.
Also, I'm loving knives. Like what?
You know, or this is something that we worked on, and I got to this point, and I just want to let you know how I'm doing, and so here's some things to think about over the next month.
Okay.
Right, and so obviously perfection is not the goal, but constant progress, constant improvement should be.
Right.
Progress for purpose.
There you go. Good dudes.
Progress for purpose.
Progress. And there it is.
There it is.
How can being socially awkward help or hurt your relationship?
I don't know if social awkwardness is directly impactful in a relationship, unless you got into the relationship through means that avoided your social awkwardness. So we were talking about technology, and we talked about it. I think we might have mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
If an individual is like getting on a dating site, right?
Yeah.
Or they're communicating, but the primary means of communication is through text, right? Well, there are some things that happen face to face, body language, some cues with the tone of your voice and all that type of thing, that you don't have to learn to make the adjustment when you're dealing with somebody else, right? And so because of that, then when you like join homes, all that stuff now comes out, right? You can't avoid it anymore. So now there are potentially issues where there might not have been because you have gone through those, like we talked about a second ago. You'd have gone through those growing pains before we got to this point. Right? But
so
if
you missed that through social media.
You missed that, and we want, and not to say that you can't have a healthy relationship if you use that as a means, but at some point, you're still going to have to go through
the awkwardness,
those growing pains and that awkwardness of, how do you, and, that has an impact on how the relationship moves forward. So, I feel like personally, not necessarily as a professional, I feel like personally, it's good for you to kind of, be in the spot and like he say somebody and want to walk up to him and speak and figure out what to say. Like I feel like all that trying to figure that out. I feel like that's good.
That builds character.
On the spot, trying to figure it out on the spot.
That builds character.
I mean, of course, mentally, but
I feel like it's a good thing. Because one, it takes nerves, right? It takes a level of gumption, right? And then it's going to test like, am I really interested? Right? It's not.
That's for the other person. Am I really interested?
No. Even for you, because she may open her mouth.
Because you approach though.
No. But she may open her mouth and say some stuff that just totally throws you off.
Like that breath.
I'm not saying
breath
that, but
threw me. Oh, go ahead.
It threw me a loop. But no.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Definitely. Dang.
Yeah.
One more question. What do you do?
2 questions ago.
I did. What do you do when you make an observation on your partner and they don't take it well? Come to therapy.
What?
I mean, that's a strategy. That's definitely a strategy.
No, the question was, what do you do when you make an observation on your partner
and they don't take it?
Well?
How did you present it?
That part. I just noticed that you, like I said inside, the observation of noticing the girl that I talk to her mom, and I'm like, hey, damn, why you do all that? She's like, yeah, and like, all right, you don't have to.
Right, because it's still a sensitive area. And so when you approached it that way, it was like you talked about earlier. I feel like you're judging me. So when you say you were like that. Right, and that's something.
The way he presented it, yeah.
Right, and that's something that I've personally, over the years, I've worked on and will continue to work on. Right.
So how should he?
Well, I mean, that's the reaction, though, right? I mean,
but the reaction is two things. One, it's a topic that I'm sensitive about, so it's going to be a very particular approach anyway, right? My guard has to be down, it has to be the right time, and so that comes to an awareness about you and your partner, right? So the more you get connected to them, the more you can kind of sense now is a good time to bring that up, right? Maybe not in the moment, because like in that particular example, if we just leave, we on the way back from the thing or the place, right? I'm still in my feelings about it, right? Because anytime I'm around her, I'm in my feelings. I don't like the way she talked to me. It's not the relationship I thought it was gonna be. Whatever, right? And so here you are questioning me. You don't know how she treated me, Right, and so here you are questioning, challenging me like I did something wrong, right? Because you were thinking about that thing that you did just now,
right?
And they're thinking about all the stuff that led up to me acting that way today.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
So you have to keep in mind when you say that, like, will you do that with your mama? But maybe another time when we're not necessarily in a mama situation,
right?
Like,
it led up to talk.
There's a lot that you have to take into account of a person's feelings.
I don't think
we're
so.
sensitive people.
We are, despite the fact that we act like we don't care.
And we suppress everything. So acting like we don't care meaning you suppress it.
Surviving.
Why is couples therapy necessary?
It's absolutely necessary because you need someone that's bilingual.
I like that.
Bilingual. They can speak both languages.
They can speak both languages. I can hear what you're saying in your language and translate for him, and I can understand what he's saying and translate for her, or him and him, or her and her, whatever your situation is, right? But regardless, whether you're talking about a gender situation or you're just talking about a background situation, right? All that's going to take, that's all that's going to be a part of how I communicate. Right? So, hey, I just said X, Y, and Z. We always tease each other coming up. And nobody took it personal. Why are you so sensitive?
We didn't do that.
Right.
We didn't do that. in this relationship and situation I had before I met you. Well, in my house, we didn't do that. We told each other we loved each other, and we cheered each other on.
What?
So what you doing right now is like an insult. You charging me.
I did that shit. So somebody gonna think different. Yeah.
Right.
So whatever the situation is, right? You need somebody that's bilingual.
There it is. That can speak both.
That can speak both languages.
There it is. LPC Sebastan Moore on the truck cast tonight.
We have to bring you back, bro.
Hey man, didn't we?
And pay you for
We was like
how much you was on? Gotta pay
hey.
Go to the website.
Go to the website. Hey, throw your information out there. Throw your information out there so they can get in touch with you.
Yeah. The website, www.progress2purpose.com. PROGRESS2PURPOSC.com. If you go to the website, it pretty much has everything laid out for you. You can book from the website, you can pay from the website, and I'm mobile, so once you go ahead and book it, you have the option to put the location, and I can come to you, or I can do virtual. All that good stuff, right?
No, you do virtual.
Wow.
Virtual. Skype and
Progress to purpose.
Progress to purpose.
Wow.
So I meet you where you are, literally.
Hey, black people, stop thinking that you don't need counseling, you don't need therapists. You do need that.
Yes, definitely.
You do.
And it doesn't make you crazy. It's not.
It does not. It's not for. It's not for people with angry issues. It's for people.
It's for people. Okay, got you.
It's for everybody.
Yeah. So what did the people say? I want to know. Help the people out. Did they have any questions?
Did they have any?
Well, they weren't saying it on yours. I thought you was reading it.
No, I need that tablet too. They had them long questions, but you can go back to the IG live and check it out and see what they wrote. One vision.
Or what we can do is
I want to talk about that one vision.
One vision.
Before you go.
Okay.
Tell them why is it one vision between a man and a woman, a husband and a wife. Right. That's the end game.
Right.
Husband and wife.
Right.
That's what we want to do.
You would think.
I mean, some people, not necessarily married, but a life partner.
Right.
Something they can come home to.
Right. And so, I mean, ideally, and we're talking about from a professional standpoint, you would want to have one vision. And if that vision is, I just want to have somebody to spend my life with, and that's all that you require, and you find somebody that's on that too, then that's great, right? But you just need to be honest and say what it is you're looking for, and not necessarily get caught up in the infatuation of, their,
right.
The checklist.
Right.
You're attractive, you make money, you got this, you live here,
right.
You like to travel, like all of that kind of stuff is not gonna make you happy when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Right? That may add to your happiness, but the relationship in and of itself should be a place of peace, right?
Come on.
So in order for that to happen, you have to have a singular vision, right? Our goal as a couple is to achieve.
So you should sit down with that. I'm sorry, man, cut you out. Like you should sit down and have that early.
Like this is what you're dating for, I would think. When people say dating with a purpose, right? You're not waiting until I'm in love and we got a kid to say, so what you trying to do with your life? Right? It needs to be like, hey, date number 2, date 1.5.
Like that?
Hey, what are you dating for?
Wouldn't that be too heavy?
I mean, maybe. But I mean, what I'm saying is that there needs to be early on those conversations about kind of like, hey, what are you looking for? What do you want in a relationship? And what are your goals?
I'm just hungry.
So that would be a good question to ask, like on the first date.
Well, people ask it, but the thing is, it's just conversation at that time, and so we don't really assess. Like, hey, okay, this person said that they don't really like, public affection.
So
is that something that is that something that I can work with?
My sneaker girl does that. She is very active at listening.
Hey,
right.
That's good.
And I said some shit that totally fucked me up. Still to this day. I'll tell you off camera.
All right, man.
All
right.
I'm telling you, be like, why did you say that? Like, I don't know why I said it. I thought it was cool. I'm gonna tell you.
Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Hey, make sure you follow us on YouTube, IG, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. Subscribe to the show. Go to our YouTube
page. Go to
page.
Libsyn. We have a Libsyn. You can find us on Libsyn. Find us on iTunes.
Yeah.
MySpace.
MySpace? I gotta get in MySpace. And
iTunes,
Tumblr,
Stitcher, Tumblr,
Snapchat,
Spotify.
Black Planet.
We gotta get a Black Planet, bro. We gotta get it.
Gotta get a Black Planet page.
Solange produced that shit, like opening back up, Solange.
So when you click on the page, the music start playing. You have to,
music?
no, just your personal page.
Cranes in the Sky? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you remember?
Yeah.
What song you had?
I ain't gonna say. I was a rapper back then.
Right,
anyway,
right.
yeah. So I had my rap song back then.
Oh my goodness, he said Black Planet in MySpace.
Shout out to
Therapist Sebastan Moore, LPC.
LPC.
Make sure you follow him.
It's Progress to Purpose, right?
Progress to Purpose.
Progress to, I almost want to send it back. Progress to Purpose.
Progress to
Go
Purpose.
to the website, get you a session because you need it.
Definitely get you a session in.
I'm gonna see what the prices are. I might give me one too.
I'm definitely getting me a session.
Something.
Get you a session.
I'm gonna give me a session.
He said I need a session. That's how I know I need a session.
I think we both need a session.
You need a session by yourself.
We all need a session.
Hey man, we had a good night, man. Hey, anything you want to tell the people? You good? Everything?
I think I'm good. Just hoping to help somebody.
There you go.
Hoping to help somebody.
If you have questions, put them on the Facebook page.
Yep.
Put them on the IG page, and we'll send them to him in his personal email. He'll give you a solution or help you out whatever he can. We didn't have a lot of people watching tonight because we started late, but
as usual.
Yeah.
Hey, we're finna start at 6 now.
On Sundays?
No, okay. Now we're gonna check. We'll talk. Yeah, we'll
7:30.
talk. Oof. All right, man. This your main man Humvee.
It's your boy DB.
Hey, we'll see you next time.
Peace. Love y'all.